people start to realize our differences aren't as big as they seem.
I couldn't really understand the magnitude of what was going on.
I know a lot of people were affected.
You know, it's still that divide.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network and Wish TV, this is Our City, Our Voice.
You look a lot different at it.
Everybody was kind of spinning about what it was and what was happening.
Everything's changed.
Everything's changed.
Many students are back in class, and among the slew of new classes, teachers, and routines, there are some new laws. A new Indiana law to address chronic absenteeism in K through 12th grades, now in effect. To remind students and parents what this law aims to achieve is Wish TV contributor Emil Ekiyor. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So let's begin with what this law was drafted to do.
So first of all, the state of Indiana needs to collect data, right? We need to collect data on what's happening in this situation, why are kids missing school, their attendance information. And really it was shocking to find out that we didn't have a strong data collection system to understand why kids were missing, how many kids are missing, and then what wraparound services or what we need to create to stop that from happening. So really this was all created to collect data for the state so we can make just adjustments to what's happening and try to create situations where that doesn't happen anymore.
And chronic absenteeism is how many days?
18 days. So you miss 18 days, which is equivalent to about 10% of the school year. Most schools go for 180 days a year. So you miss 18 days for whatever reason, right? Which is a different from just unexcused absences. So even if you have excuses, but you miss 18 days, it's just hard to catch up.
Now, Senator Andy Zay of Huntington recently addressed some misunderstandings surrounding this new law. So what do educators, parents, students need to remember?
So first of all, this law is focused on whatever reason. Again, you missed days because you went to the hospital or you were traveling. That's all under the umbrella of absenteeism. You miss 18, then it's considered chronic absenteeism. Now, there's a difference between just unexcused absence, where you're just a habitual offender, you just don't come to school, right? That's a whole different ball game, and that needs to be addressed in a separate way, right? And there are rules and laws around that. In this case, we're saying we have so many kids missing school, and let's understand why they're missing school so we can kind of create laws, not even laws, but just create ways to adjust to that, right? So, for example, we have kids who, hey, look, you have a Sunday night travel basketball game. You don't get back till late at night, right? Now you call in and you don't go to school on Monday morning, right? If you do that so many times in the year, even though you called in, your parents excused you, still, if you do that 18 times, it's chronic absenteeism.
Right.
So parents need to know that. Right? They're just calling in and saying, hey, my kid is not coming to school today, and you do that for 18 times, we keep using the number 18 or 10% of the school year, then that's an issue, right? Because now everything is adjusted to your kid. The teachers, trying to get the kid caught up in class. So we just don't want to make that prevalent where that's happening so much, and apparently it is happening so much.
And speaking of that, it's a growing statewide concern across the country since the COVID-19 pandemic. So do you think this law is going to help?
Well, because they created a law to collect data, right, and just get their arms around what's happening. The issue, what we would like to see is at the end of the school year, what the report would look like, right? Is it going to look exactly what it looked like in the past, or is it going to be more detailed to show like, hey, look, we had so many kids miss school because of going to the hospital or doctor's appointments, or we had so many kids miss school because, they had sporting events. So just knowing why kids are missing and being able to say, we just had so many kids miss school and we don't know why they missed, right? So getting that data is important so we can actually see, okay, how do we make sure this doesn't happen going forward?
Right, yeah.
Especially
too, like a sporting event or something.
Exactly.
Just calling the school and having that conversation.
Exactly.
Hey, this is why, that'll help too.
But the other thing that we want to see is, how does that correlate to achievement in class? Like missing school and missing 18 days of school, how does that correlate to your achievement as far as your grades in school, your performance in school? So that data alone will be helpful to say, look, 80% of the kids that missed 18 days ended up struggling in class. We just don't know that data as a whole now, so I think that's part of what they want to collect and then share that back with the public to say, okay, here's why we need to create a law that stops this from happening.
Got it. So big stepping stone there.
Yes, it is.
Emil Ekiyor, Wish TV contributor. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you so much.
Discover more at wishtv.com. And when you follow Wish TV on Facebook, check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.